What was it? Yeah, actually, that's right. That was what I was thinking. Adventure. How dare you? This Cryrus. This calling to join the title of form electrode. That's nice. Wanna hear a joke? Of course, Nagel. Hello, and also hello, Kim. How you doing? Sup, nerds? Let's go downwards. Don't know why they haven't updated the new system yet. That I'm never gonna understand. Oh, what did it say? Okay. Nice.
It's raining again.
I'm doing alright. I can't complain. I woke up early so I can try to update Genshin early, so it wouldn't take as much time until I realized the update is tomorrow. So yep. I've already pre-downloaded. I'm one of these now. Yeah. What you say though? I've already done the pre-update, but it never seems to work. I feel like so. Not as intended. But I'm also gonna wake up early tomorrow. For different reasons. And now my sleep schedule is
Finally,
done.
the rain has stopped.
Yeah. Question. Right. I'm covering farming achievement. Nice.
Press refire! Well, cut to the chase. Don't blink.
Oh yeah, I was immune
Feeling lucky.
to electro.
The Temple of Wisdom. Hey there.
I missed.
Hiya.
No.
Coming at ya. Attack. That's the way.
The system that was really yeah.
Hiya.
That is true.
Allow me. This one's got your name on it. Hey there. Fire. Well, commit to memory. Let's move out. Speed of light.
Just gonna have to have it when it's going.
Hiya. Watch out.
But yeah, PS4 really needs one of those as well. That is true. So, Kim, are you farming any specific achievements or just in general? Oh. No, I pressed the wrong button. No, please, sorry, it was a mistake. I apologize. Physical damage, that's fine. Oh no, that's the one that was down. Yep. Cool. Hey, Fabled. How are you doing, Fabled? Phantom. Let's go. Hope you're doing well. All of you. Okay, so not in any specific, just all of it at the same time. It's quite impressive, actually. Never thought it could be done. Yeah, all of them at the same time, Nick.
Everyone hold hands. Hold the line. Don't blink. Hey!
I see it. Whoop. Whoop, whoop. And we're going back. Okay, please. Just gonna go there. Because that is first girl. Gonna be like that. Yes. We got a drip marketing for new cursor. Yeah. We know Chlorine is coming now. And Between. If you look at the Discord, Nickel, Kim has already sent it all. Or basically sent a pretty good estimate that turned out to be correct.
Yeah. Rusty, rebound. Speed of light. Yeah. Incoming. I see everything. Make yourselves at home. With sword comes shadow.
Yeah, that's she's when it's finally arriving. Yep. All of them is finally arriving. No, the official drips marketing. God damn. Get up. What is the official drip marketing? What do you mean? Did I miss something, or that I'm just too stupid to understand what you mean? I said it now. Okay, give me a second. Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. No, yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I've seen that. Not Electro and Geo. Why are you lost, Nickel? Aren't you at home? Aren't you at home?
It's time to pull.
Me. Oh, I saw that. I already checked that one out. It just, I just can't wait. Give me it already. Come on. Just watch now, Chlorine being fucking ass. Gonna make me sad. Just two of my brain cells to log into the. Well, that's one more than you usually use. Wow, that progress. I'm sorry, nigga. Don't hate me. No.
Take it easy.
Grow.
I I misclicked.
Hold the line. Speed of light. Huh?
I misclicked. Okay, over there. Haven't been here in a while. And back we go. That is that one.
Everyone hold hands. Allow me. Incoming.
The fight is extremely good plan, but I woke.
Got lucky
Good.
that time. Hey! Nowhere to hide. Speed of light.
Well, weren't you supposed to get Alicino as
Hold
well?
the line.
Did you tell me that? Why is there so many hilly trolls? Don't hurt them out.
Hey! Rest and rebuild.
Game's up. Fun's over. Take it easy. Take it easy.
The video of her is out. Gonna have of holy shit. Nerd. I have this many. 695. What video is the video about Chlorine out? Is what you're telling me, or is it Siege Queen? And if so, send me a link, please. Actually, it doesn't matter on which one. I want to see both one because I actually kind of want both. Well, I guess we're gonna max out our rip. Oh yeah, that one. I've already seen that. I've seen that. Take one at a time here. I can do this. It's right there. Won't even ask at the point how you got jailed a long time ago. You already asked this a long time ago. An entire collection of the cursive. Yeah.
All tasks.
I think it's like almost like half a year ago. Or at least close to. Of course you don't remember it. You don't have a memory, man. You have a memory like a goldfish, you know this. That was one of the first things you ever told me.
Take it easy.
Achievement complete, Legends of the Leeway. That's cool. Go. She's running very fast in high heels, man. God damn. But give me a second, Nickel. I'll show you all my characters. Now we have the wings. If you really want to. There you go. That is bad. That's a good one. That is a good one.
Hey there. Don't be
Well, guess we're gonna do a one of them down here.
Take it easy.
What do you have? 5 red fried eggs, 5 sakura blooms, and let's take this. Oh, maybe I should actually do. But no, I can't. I really can't wait for the next patch. It's gonna be great, and for the next patches to come. There you go. Almost done. Let's see if we can finish it then before doing anything else. It wasn't a good one. I wasn't joking. Nigga, the best jokes is when you don't joke at all.
World's a whole lot easier with a few different identities to choose from. Need me to come up with some for you?
No, thank you. I don't need any more identities. The unintentional joke is the deadliest, Nickel. Come on. We all know that. Okay.
Take it easy.
Oh, what a... Probably behind some rocks or something. Oh, just right there.
Easy
Shut up.
money.
I'm actually more impressed that the Geo Slimes didn't attack me. Come on, I'm waiting for it. Come on. The new update to the compass is gonna be great. Of course, the Geo Slimes doesn't fucking see me at all. But you guys, when I'm a million miles away...
Quietly now. Here comes the catch.
I thought I was out of range. Alright, no. Still not out of range.
Take it easy.
I need to upgrade her auto attack. Sounds like a skill issue. As the young people would say. Is that enough? It was enough. Daily commissions complete.
Ad Astra.
Ad Astra Abyssosque.
Thank you for Ad Astra.
Abyssosque. Clay. Okay. Now that is. Then we have a billion stories to do. Yaden talking with Yaden. Scary.
Finished, huh? What did you think?
Everyone took it very seriously.
Of course they did. They have the chance to be picked as the new Tianshu, so you can bet they're putting their best foot forward. And keep in mind, whoever gets in has to execute their plan as written. Nobody wants to have any regrets. That's for me to know and you to find out. We can talk more after the interviews. We'll see the candidates now. Let's do one at a time. Start with Chenwei.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, man.
Oh, so you two are the
So you
assessment
have Yaden,
officers,
huh?
are you?
Yeah.
I had assumed that given the great
not
import of
watching.
this situation, Lady Ningguang would perhaps be assessing us in person. I certainly hadn't imagined I'd be seeing two entirely unfamiliar faces. I trust you've read through my manifesto? I'd be more than happy to clarify any details you found difficult to grasp. It was written with an expert audience in mind, after all.
Mind your tone, mister.
Relax. It wasn't intended as a personal slight against anyone in particular. I was simply stating a fact.
And
Cloud Retainer? You know this Adeptus? Oh, yes, I remember now. You must be the traveler that people are constantly talking about. With your sterling reputation, you must have a respectable level of erudition. Perhaps you will be able to understand the concepts I have put forward. Yeah, although I shouldn't get my hopes up.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes. Please introduce yourself.
I'm, Mingbo. I work in the Ministry of Civil Affairs. I've worked there for, 9 years, 5 months, and 3 days. In that time, I've handled, 2,347 cases. I have 12 active cases at the moment. They should be concluded in, 16 days? My current work is related to urban planning, and I'm
Shit.
also responsible for, auditing the accounts. To be more precise, there are 3 parts to the accounts, namely...
Is it just Paimon, or is he not very good at public speaking?
neither are you when you talk about people when they're
You
right
know
in front
what?
of you.
Let's leave the self-introduction there and move on to some questions.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Hello. Not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little nervous. What would you like to know? You're here to assess me, so ask away and I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability.
Your manifesto is very wide in its scope, but you don't seem to be personally involved in many of the specific fields. How can you be sure that you have the ability to put your plan into action?
Or me when I do anything. Oh,
Very
man.
fair question. I completely understand where you're coming from. But I'm confident in my plan. I've visited many different places, talked to lots of people with far more expertise than myself, and my manifesto is the conclusion of these efforts. Of course, two different problems can be interconnected in very complicated ways, and you might reach two very contradictory conclusions depending on which one you're focusing on.
Yep.
What I've tried to do is strike a balance. In other words, present an optimal solution to all the problems as a whole.
How do you plan to determine whether you are right or wrong about your proposed solution being the optimal one?
A great question. Well, I'd start by having my colleagues and the secretaries of the Yuehai Pavilion evaluate any proposals before implementation. Post-implementation, it would all come down to the results. If it turned out that my judgment was to blame for poor results, I would take responsibility.
Nice answer. All right, next question.
He seems like a great guy. Everything he said was thoughtful.
Here's my take on what we just learned. As you saw, Qianwei is highly knowledgeable. He proposes many excellent ideas in his manifesto, which effectively target the big issues. But he is very proud and incredibly stubborn. He doesn't care much about other people's feelings. Mingbo's plan is more thorough and more measured. You can tell he's meticulous in his work, very detail-oriented. But he and Qianwei are otherwise polar opposites. Mingbo is not very articulate and comes across as very timid in conversation.
Perfect summary. Paimon couldn't agree more.
Last but not least, Zhi. His manifesto is full of pertinent details, his methodology is sound, and his proposals cover a broad range of fields, which is quite a rare feat. The depth he goes into in each and every area means it can only be a product of painstaking work. Plus, he is mod but. What really interests me is that many of his views happen to coincide with Uncle Tien's. Having someone like Zhi take the position would certainly put Uncle Tien's mind at rest.
Great.
We'll see. Let's go back and report to Uncle Tien.
Yes, ma'am.
Take it easy.
Let's see what he wants. Don't mind me standing on the table.
I see. Then it's more or less as I anticipated.
All right. Then let me ask this. The ideas in Zhi's manifesto are very similar to your own. Is there any particular reason behind this?
Oh, I didn't want to say anything when I gave you the list of candidates, for fear of affecting. Those 3 candidates have all studied under me in the past. It's only natural that they share some similarities with me. But Qianwei went on to focus on his business, and Mingbo has always been occupied with his work at the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Of all of them, Zhi was with me for the longest duration.
Whoa. So how did you get to know them all, Uncle Tien?
Qianwei was referred to me by an old friend. Mingbo came to my attention in the course of my work. As for Zhi, that was pure happenstance. We first met while fishing. Gradually, as we got to know each other, we started discussing all sorts of topics. Zhi came from a poor family, and his parents died when he was very young. But he was a gifted student and a fast learner. He reminded me of a younger version of myself. So I started out giving him a few words of advice when we were out fishing and noticed how quickly he got on. Quite. And now, all of a sudden, he's grown into a mature young man. It's a joy to see. The young are growing up, and I am growing old. How time flies. No one can escape the cycle of life.
I don't know, Uncle Tien. You still seem in pretty good shape to me. You might have another few years of work left in you, don't you think?
Oh, you. There's really no need to console me. Having less energy than I used to isn't such a bad thing. It just means I finally have a good reason to retire and spend my days doing what old men like me should be doing. Going fishing.
Sounds like you sure love fishing, Uncle Tien.
Ooh, there's nothing quite like fishing to pass the time.
Fresh fish soup. Sounds tasty.
Doesn't it? Also, some time ago, when we've been fishing recently, Jerry always brings some extra ingredients he prepared in advance. The addition of these makes the soup taste even more wonderful. That flavor makes for a fond memory. But at my age, who knows how many more chances I have left to taste it again.
Oh, can Paimon come next time too? Paimon really wants to try it.
Let's get back to the matter at hand. Uncle Tien, we've reported back. Do you have a verdict?
Mm-hmm. I appointed you as the Had you not asked me why Juri's ideas were so similar to mine, I was not going to mention my history with any of them. This decision must be guided by what is fair and right. Please disregard all other considerations and make your final decision. Remember, you must be thorough.
Understood. Come on, let's go talk somewhere else.
Bye-bye, Uncle Tien. Look after yourself. So, it's gonna be Jiri, right? His manifesto was written well, and he's the best speaker.
Easy. Let's not rush. There's no time limit for this assessment.
Huh? So, are you gonna give them more tests or something?
Yes.
No, nothing like that. The assessment itself is complete. But let me give you a word of advice. Things
Yeah,
are not always
that was what
as
I
they
was
appear.
thinking.
The biggest no-no in intelligence work is to only get information from the person of interest themselves. The truth is almost always hidden beneath many layers of deception. You have to get information through many different channels. For example, Wenyuan, Shanghua.
Yes?
Lady Yelan, what are your orders?
Ugh! Who are they? Where did they come from?
Did they scare you? These two are Wenyuan and Shanghua. They work for me. As my trusted assistants, they are always standing guard nearby. They also perform various assignments as required. Shanghua is a business expert who gets his information by trading. Wenyuan relies on word of mouth. And there's also Upei, who's not here right now.
That meathead must have been out there on sea surveillance for some time now. Is he all right? I seem to remember that he can't swim.
Nothing can take that guy down. Certainly not a little wind and wave.
Shanghua, visit all the commerce guilds and look into Qianwei's background. Wenyuan, go to the Ministry of Civil Affairs and look through Mingbo's work files.
Yes, ma'am.
So what about Juri?
Juri, well, obviously as the most promising candidate, we will be investigating him ourselves. Let's go to the docks first. Lots of people passing through there. You can find out all kinds of things.
If we're looking
Okay.
for information, why don't we try talking to Bulai, the owner of Wanyu Boutique? He does business at the North Wharf. Maybe he has some news for us.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Of course it's not.
Huh? What's Bulai doing here today?
That's
Look,
Alabama.
your asking price for this batch is just too high. I can't buy in at this price. How am I supposed to turn a profit?
Come on, hear me out. I'm telling you, this is the single best batch of Sunsetias ever. You won't find anyone who disputes that. I accidentally dropped one into a well, and even the water turned sweet.
Even so...
All right. I'll let you in on a little secret. The boss of Second Life also wants to buy from me, but I haven't responded yet. If you won't take him, I'll just have to partner with them instead.
Okay, well, when you put it that way, I'll... Oh, what are you doing here?
Came to ask you.
And to be clear, these Sunsetias are mine. I got to them first.
Actually, we wanted to ask you about a guy called Juri. Have you heard of him before?
Juri? Yes, he's quite well known. I've heard a story about him. They say he was born into poverty. His parents died when he was young, and he was treated cruelly by the local community. One of his neighbors was terribly rude to him all the time, but Juri never retaliated. And when his neighbor went bankrupt, he even helped support the family. He returned cruelty with kindness, injustice with peace offerings. A gentleman of talent and character, and... oh, how did I not notice him sooner? In fact, maybe I'm not too late. If I could hire him to be the brand ambassador for Wanyo Boot...
Oh, he sounds like a decent man.
Why are you asking about him anyway? You aren't looking for a brand ambassador too? Well then, in that case, the higher bidder takes the... Ah, that's Juri right over there. Why don't we go and talk to him?
Where?
It's him, all right. Looks like he's chatting with Lin Long. Come on, let's follow them and listen in. Try not to let him see you. We want this information to be as truthful as possible.
I'll just go and fetch an employment contract. And hey, don't try and cut me out of this.
God
I
damn.
understand. Let's walk and talk. So, you were looking to buy a wineware set? Oh, now I can see that you're a connoisseur, so I won't bother trying to con you. I trust you understand our shop quite well?
What's the hurry?
Oh,
Don't get too close.
I thought I was.
I'll see you.
God damn it. Oh, close enough.
Try not to let him see.
Yeah.
I understand. Let's walk and talk.
You won't see any.
So, you were looking to buy a wineware set? Oh, now I can see that you're a connoisseur, so I won't bother trying to con you. I trust you understand our shop quite well?
Mm-hmm.
The truth is, an old friend of mine, who likes to have a drink now and then, he fancies himself as a man of culture, but doesn't care for needless extravagance. So I thought I might buy him a set of high-quality fakes.
How very thoughtful of you. Leave it to me, then. Come and collect it at Shigu Antiques whenever is convenient.
Thank you very much, Miss Linlong.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Juri. These days, it's quite rare for someone of your standing to still keep up with their old friends. It's nice to see. I'll be sure to pick out a good set for you. You can count on me.
Why? Why even bother with this?
Juri seems to get along really well with everyone. Are you satisfied now, Yelan? Seems like everyone thinks Juri's a great...
We shouldn't jump to conclusions just yet. Let's go check out the wharf where he usually goes fishing.
Do we have... Wait. You're not just trying to dig up some dirt on Juri because you want to be Tianshu yourself.
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. But hey, if I do become Tianshu, I'll look out for you guys. You'll be able to try all the finest food for free. How does that sound?
We will? Well, come on! Off to the South Wharf we go!
That was definitely not the way he was headed. By the way. At all. Oh, Nigel, you still gonna try and get Alicino? Because I remember you talking about you're gonna roll for it. So are you gonna go for Aladino and then go for Siege Queen? Is those are the two you're going for?
The wharf is as busy as ever. I hear the anglers here sometimes sell their fish to the nearby fishmongers. Let's see what Uncle Soon has to say.
Why is everybody on? Jesus Christ. That's a tuna.
Welcome. What would you like to buy today?
Sorry to interrupt. We're actually members of the, Liyue Anglers Association, and we just wanted to ask a few questions about someone. We've heard about this young man called Zhi, who's supposed to be a fantastic fisherman. Just wondering if you happen to have heard of him?
Whoa! Yeon made up a whole fake identity.
Ah, yes, Jury. He's been making quite a name for himself recently. I've got some friends who travel all over the place, and they tell me everywhere they go they meet someone who's heard of him. Apparently, he had a rather tough time growing up. Had to work several jobs alongside his studies to make ends meet. How does that saying go? What doesn't kill you makes you strong.
Yeah, we think so too.
But I'm afraid your Anglers Association might be in for a disappointment.
Oh? Why's that?
He's good at a lot of things, but fishing isn't one of them. He fishes at the wharf and sells what he catches to me on occasion. His catches are always mediocre. Not terrible, but equally nothing to write home about. If you're looking to recruit some new members, though, I do know a few top anglers I could put you in touch with.
That sounds fantastic. I've got a couple of other things to attend to right now, though, so why don't I come back some other time and we can chat over a drink?
Sure thing. See you.
Everywhere they go, they meet someone who's heard of him. Come on, let's keep asking around.
Here to buy some fish? It's 300 for one or 3 for 1,000. You better hurry when they're
Hello, we're from the Society for Fish Price Research.
Wow, she's
Society for Fish Price.
Please, don't worry. We're just here to conduct a simple survey. We've heard about a certain Zhi who's been selling fresh fish at low prices in this area recently. Do you know anything about...
So this isn't about me. You should have said something, you know. I know the guy. I can tell you what I know. I haven't heard anything about him selling fresh fish at low prices, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was him.
Oh? Why is that?
Because he's so poor. His parents died when he was very young, and his alcoholic father still owed a huge amount of debt. No one wanted anything to do with him. He was still a kid when he first came to the wharf. His clothes were ragged, and he had a bandage wrapped around his head, and he managed to survive, thanks to Uncle Tien, who gave him some food. But still to this day, he doesn't have a lot of mora to his name. I mean, he can afford to eat and everything, but you'll often see him haggling with others over just a few mora. So, I wouldn't be surprised to find out he's been selling a few fish. It's not like he catches much anyway, so it's not going to affect my business. Don't tell him I said that.
You'd rather he didn't know?
Well, I spoke to him once, briefly, and I just had a feeling that he really cares what other people think of him. I think he has pretty low self-esteem. But hey, it's hardly my place to say anything. What he's achieved already puts most people to shame. And nobody's perfect. I just wouldn't want to upset him. That's all.
I see. Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Not a problem. And just for the record, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the price of my fish.
The more times you say it, the less convincing it becomes.
He doesn't have a lot of mora to his name.
Hey, it's you guys! Wait, what's the phrase? Oh yeah, honored to meet you. What brings you to me?
The truth is, we are but newcomers to this territory. We heard tell of a great martial artist, Master Dugu, who knows everything there is to know.
Really?
But of course, we also heard that Master Dugu is a...
Great!
Okay, let's skip the...
So what do you wish to know?
Thank you.
Nothing happens on this street that I don't know.
Now she's lying to a kid.
So, Master Dugu, have you heard of one by the name of Zhi?
Sure have. You mean that guy that all the grown-ups are talking about? I've heard many tales of Jury. Probably because it's nothing that important. I prefer stories about sword fighting.
Oh, I can completely understand that. Then let me ask you this. Do you remember roughly when the grown-ups started talking about Jur-E?
Oh yeah, I know that. It was about 2 or 3 months ago. Before that, people always used to talk about Jury in a kind of nasty tone of voice. But 2 or 3 months ago, suddenly everyone started to like him. Sometimes he gives me candies. So I'm glad that people are starting to like him.
Just as I thought.
Huh? What do you mean?
I mean, just as I thought, Master Dugu is indeed as kind and virtuous as the legends claim.
I'm not that great. Oh yeah, one other thing. These days, there's a lot of people I've never seen before talking about Jury stories in the street. They seem like nice people.
Oh, definitely.
Great! So next time I see them, I'll say hi. And I guess I can share some of my candies with them too.
Certainly. You can also tell my friend in Yenshang Tea House about what they're up to. I'm sure my friend would also like to say hi to them.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Well then, fare thee well, Master Dugu.
Until we meet again.
Okay, that's certainly something.
Any of that sound strange to you?
Strange? What was strange about it? Ji seems to have a great reputation. Uncle Soon and Uncle Gao spoke highly of him, and Dugu Shuo seems to like him.
True. But the issue is, where did his sudden celebrity come from? It almost seems too good to be true.
Sudden?
Yep.
Too good to be true?
So he returns cruelty with kindness, and had to work to support his studies. These are the kinds of things that make someone well known in their hometown. But Uncle Soon said even his friends who travel far and wide hear about him wherever they go. That's all. Do you remember what Dugu Shuo said about Jur-E's stories? Clearly they left him with a good impression of the guy. But beyond that, he wasn't interested in the details. That's the reaction I would expect from any normal person.
Yeah.
Plus, there's the fact that all this praise of Jur-E has only been happening within the last 2 or 3 months. His childhood, his studies, the thing with his neighbor. None of these are recent events. So,
Yeah.
When you put it like that.
of course, if that's all there was to it, I wouldn't look into it any further. Jur-E was born into a poor family. Paying people to get his stories out there is within the rules of the game as far as I'm concerned. The problem is, do you remember what Uncle Gao said about him? He's stayed poor his whole life. Everything he's earned he's either spent on studying, traveling, or paying off debts. I don't think he has the mora to pay for a publicity campaign. Right. And that changes
Changes everything.
everything. It can mean a powerful faction is trying to gain influence over the Liu at Xixing. That's the worst case scenario. But all too often, the most pessimistic speculation turns out to be closest to the truth.
Someone's trying to gain influence over the Qixing?
Yep.
Even if we asked Ji about it, surely there's no way he'd admit it.
First, we need to find out who's supporting him. Don't worry, I've got a plan.
Bismarck
Remember
always
the
got a
current
plan.
affairs and planning stage of the assessment? Since the successful candidate is duty-bound to implement their plan after taking office, their manifesto tells us their stance on key issues. Whoever is secretly helping Jur-E must be seeking to benefit from his actions after his appointment. Come on, let's get back to Yenshang Tea House. Take it easy.
Take it easy.
Take it easy.
We're back.
Jur-E's manifesto covers a huge range of topics. Looking for details that don't add up will be like trying to find a needle in a haystack. I'll divide the reports into 2 piles. You take one, I'll take the other. When we're finished, we'll put our heads together.
Alright.
Officially, the assessment is already over, and I'll be expected to announce the results before long. So we have to get to the bottom of this as quickly as we can.
Yikes! We better hurry!
Whatever else Uncle Tien might think of Jur-E, The fact remains that he's one of his favorite students. Any evidence he's left is not going to be immediately obvious. We'll have to look carefully and think critically.
Yes, ma'am.
Even though Yelan took half, this is, well...
Der er så fantasy storms become strong in recent years as we set up specialists. That's not it. There's a terrain around Stormfront and ping instead of transport language. There's a medicinal herb and deposits. Okay. Just the Rex Lab has left a great deal of wealth in the mountains of Leeway. In the excavation.
Oh, this reading is giving...
Looks like I'm the first one back, as usual.
Oh, hey! It's one of Yelan's little helpers! Shh, if you're back, that means... that...
You betcha. I visited all the commerce guilds and gathered a wealth of information. Every time they asked me to leave, but I always had another trick up my sleeve.
Don't drag this out. Just tell us your finding.
Yes, Lady Yelan. To summarize my findings, most people who've had interactions with Qianwei will start out complaining about how proud and arrogant he is, but then go on to give a generally positive appraisal of him. The young master of the Feiyun Commerce Guild said that Qianwei appears arrogant, but he's very scrupulous in the way he works. Once he signs a contract with somebody, he treats them fairly regardless of their background.
That's what we like to hear. Yeah, I mean, that's what we
Is
like
it
to hear.
possible that his reputation is fake? Is there any way you can check the accounts of the businesses under his...
In theory, that should be very difficult. But here's the thing. I asked around and found out that almost all of Qianwei's accounts are open to the... Where he buys from and sells to should be confidential business information, but he doesn't seem interested in protecting it at all. Qianwei often sees business opportunities that others don't, but once he's made enough mora off of it, it's like he gets sick of it and releases all of his trade secrets. It's like he wants people to know that they still can't beat him, even if he shares all of his secrets. The fact that someone like that can still make mora is pretty infuriating when you think about it.
What a strange guy. It's like he's not doing business to make mora.
To validate his theories. No wonder his manifesto contains so many insights. It's all the result of his first-hand experimentation.
I'm back! Huh? Why do you think? Obviously, because I possess superior skills, and am always one step ahead of the competition.
You... Ugh, whatever. I'm not getting into an argument with you. If I hadn't had something else to take care of on the way, I would have been back long before Lady Yelan. I have finished investigating Mingbua.
Well, we're all...
The Ministry of Civil Affairs says that Mingbua struggles to get his words out when he gets nervous, especially when he's chatting with strangers. But after a few days of getting to know him, you can pretty much have a normal conversation with him. On the whole, the feedback from the Ministry of Civil Affairs was very positive. He always considers the things that everyone else overlooks.
In your opinion, was the Ministry of Civil Affairs' appraisal of Mingbua at all exaggerated?
I don't believe so. Mingbua is someone who has slowly but surely earned the reputation he has today. According to Miss Yu, the Ministry often gets Mingbua to take a final look at projects before they're implemented. People feel much more confident in something if it has his stamp of approval.
That's also pretty good.
And also, there was once someone in the Ministry who was lying and cheating to try to advance their career. Mingbua gave them the scolding of a lifetime. Apparently, he can be terrifying when he loses his temper. I haven't seen it for myself, though.
Whoa, that's hard to
I think
imagine.
it makes a lot of sense. to
Like
me.
I said
a lot
before,
of sense.
things are not always as they appear.
Ah, so that's what you meant.
Thank you both.
You're done.
You're free to go now.
Go away.
So, have you finished reading? I can't see any immediate problems looking at the individual. The only one that strikes me as a little unusual is the Chengshu Pool redevelopment plan. Chengshu Pool has always been home to many secrets. Plus, Ajdaha once wrought havoc there, so there are even more secrets buried deep underground. At some point, a rumor began to go around that there is great treasure buried a long time ago, with the approval of the Qixing. a mining team conducted and explored.
So, did they find it?
None. The ruin was completely impenetrable. The only way they could have gotten through the solid rock would have been by blowing it open with us. The technology wasn't mature enough at that time, so the excavation project was shut down. Jur-E's manifesto focuses on solving problems, and this treasure hunt seems extreme. Still, this one fact alone doesn't tell us much. Everyone wants to get their hands on this treasure. The treasure hoarders, the Fatui, even local Liyue factions.
Excavation? Project? Treasure? Did we read anything similar in our Oh, yeah! Juri said the Blackcliff Forge workers should get right of first refusal if any suitable projects come.
Did he now? Well, that makes everything much clearer.
To excavate the treasure.
Does that mean the Blackcliff Forge is...
No, not likely. I've looked into the Blackcliff Forge before. They aren't... They do possess some specialized explosives. But it would seem more trouble than it's worth to put so many Still, since the clues are pointing toward the Blackcliff Forge, we should...
See where it leads. I agree.
Shenwei and Mingbo both turned out to be completely different.
Horde.
What about Juri? Is there another side to him too?
Most likely.
It's raining again? Oh, this isn't good. If the rain washes away the traces, it's gonna set us back a long way. Take it easy. This is the Blackcliff Forge. Let's look around for clues.
What's...
From the back, it looks like a ledger. We don't know who wrote it, but it's interesting, don't you think?
You think they're suspicious?
Yes. Look, it says right there, one of them's already been promoted to team leader. At this rate, by the time the Qingshu Pool redevelopment plan is ready to roll, they'll be the technical backbone of the team. That'll give them the chance to take a lot of liberties. Imagine if we didn't suspect anything. By the time Jur-E recommends the Blackcliff Forge for the excavation project, at most we would maybe do a fresh background check on the place. No red flags if all they did was change some key staff. And even if we decided to vet the staff individually, they'd have had more than enough time by then to come up with fake identities. That's the advantage of planning this far in advance.
When you put it like that, it all makes sense. So, who's really behind all this?
That's a question for the newcomers.
Well, let's start with...
But let's start...
Yep. Iron Shoulder.
Excuse us.
I gotta say, these newcomers are in tip-top shape. Fast learners, too. They're picking up all the skills unbelievably fast. My only complaint is that they're always going out drinking. I guess they just need some time to adjust. I'm sure we'll get to know each other.
They go out drinking.
You got that right. They tell me they go all the way back to Liyue Harbor to drink at Wanmin Restaurant. It rained after work today, so they actually stuck around at the site for a while. But as soon as the rain stopped, hey, you're only young once, right? I say, if they can hack it, let them at it.
Interesting. Let's go talk somewhere else.
Yes, mate.
Looks like our hunch was on the Mora. These newcomers are very suspicious.
Like, basically, fucking Yelan is just...
Drinking in Liyue Harbor, huh?
Genshin. I mean,
Some
come
cover
on now.
story. I'll wager they've been going to intelligence updates. Good thing it rained today. It means they'll leave footprints. I doubt they'd give themselves away that easily, but let's follow them and try our luck. Take it easy.
They went that way. Hurry, we gotta catch up. These footprints are heading towards Liyue Harbor. Maybe we were wrong about them.
Just as I thought. They didn't go to Liyue Harbor. They went that way. The footprints stop here, but judging from the direction. I'm guessing their destination was that abandoned house.
Most likely.
Looks like we were too late. This has gotta be where the newcomers rendezvous with whoever they're working for. Look at these ashes. Someone was burning documents not long before we...
Could there be anything left? Maybe the wind could have blown the fire out before everything was finished burning.
The odds of that are very slim. It's practically impossible.
Yeah.
I've checked. All the paper's been burned.
Why don't we wait for them back at the Black Cliff Fort?
We can't count on that. Clearly they were based here at one point, but to me, that says that whoever's behind this has moved them somewhere else to throw our investigation off.
Darn! Guess this is where a trail runs cool.
Make no mistake, the purpose of our trip wasn't to find any solid evidence. We just need to figure out who's behind Jur-E. I smelled something peculiar the moment I came in. Those newcomers probably thought they'd be safe as long as they burned the letters. But what they failed to consider is that paper and ink from different regions produce different odors when they're burned.
Really?
There is a certain place with a freezing cold climate where there's nothing but ice as far as the eye can see. Some wealthy people there put floral fragrance in their ink as a way of injecting when that fragrant ink is burned. This is the exact odor, exactly. The evidence will soon be blown away by the wind, so it's nothing we can, but it's all I need.
Lady Yelan! Oh, thank goodness I finally found you. I thought I'd never see you again.
Don't be alarmed. This is Upei. He's Wenyuan and Shanghua's colleague. I sent him to look into Jur-E's regular contacts. Since Jur-E likes fishing, Upei thought he might know. I left him a note at Yanshang Tea House telling him to look for me at Black... So, what did you find out at sea?
Forgive my incompetence. I'm afraid I've come up empty-handed. I asked all the fishermen multiple times, but none of them had any interactions with Jur-E before. Then the waves got so choppy, when I got back, I heard that you'd gone to Black Cliff Forge and might need backup, so I went straight there as fast as I could.
Well, Uncle Tien said that Jur-E once bought a recipe from one of the fishermen.
What? No, that's not possible. It's absolutely not possible. Lady Yelan, I'm telling you, I spoke to every single fisherman out there, and none of them meant—
Interesting. Then I wonder how that
Fish soup?
Nothing. Our priority right now is to find a way to get our hands on some solid evidence. Well, any suggestions? Not a bad idea. Upei, what do you think?
Honestly, I've already tried following Jur-E, but the guy's too cautious. Never meets with anyone suspicious.
Okay, so tailing.
No, we'll still need to tail him. But first, we need to do some groundwork.
Groundwork?
When you've worked in intelligence for a long time, you'll understand that no one can stay on high alert forever.
Yeah, true.
Especially when he thinks he's about to win. Tomorrow morning, I'll announce his victory at Yuehai Pavilion. Take a guess what you think he'll do next. Be sure to arrive on time. You won't want to miss the
Alright, guys. Be right back. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, that's fine. It's raining rain. Hallelujah, it's raining rain.
It looks like we're all here. Well then, time for me to announce the result. I won't drone on about the importance of the Tianshu role. Suffice to say that Uncle Tien entrusted me with the monumentally important task of assessing the candidates.
All of us here know the score. Don't beat around the bush, just get on with it.
Qianwei has many pioneering ideas, but some of his plans are lacking in detail, and he easily gets into testy exchanges with other people. Mingbo is reliable, but not quite ambitious enough. And because of his personality, he struggles to win people over. In contrast, Zhi is evenly balanced across the board and enjoys an excellent reputation after much consideration.
What?
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Honestly, I'm a little surprised to hear my name being in my estimation. All three of us are worthy candidates for the Tianshu position. As your competitor, I've become... Would either of you entertain the possibility of working with me in the future? And taking on some of my workload?
I'll have to see. I'm in a bad mood. This is the last thing I want to be thinking about right now.
I don't mind, as long as I can help.
Okay, well, that's all from me. Zhi, you'll have some preparation to do. It won't be long before you're informed of your official appointment. I hope you will work hard and make Uncle Tien proud.
I will live up to the Tianshu name. On this, you have my word. I should go. I need to pack my things, and then I think a celebratory meal is in order. Would anyone like to join me?
Count me out. I'm not a...
Zhi
Yeah,
seems
fair.
pretty relaxed now. This would be a good time to follow him.
Hey, Traveler, tell me something. What exactly does that guy have that I don't? If you can't answer that, I'm not accepting this result.
I, also wouldn't mind knowing.
Oh no, if we get stuck here, we won't be able to leave.
Follow him.
Yes, ma'am.
We finally got...
Lady Yelan, Zhi has gone towards Feiyun Slope.
Follow him, quickly.
Hold on. Quickly.
So Zhi really sided with the Fatui? But Uncle Tien thinks so highly of him. Why would he do this?
Difficult to say, but everything should become a lot clearer when we find him.
I'm sorry, Lady Yelan. We lost him. He's too good at this. We weren't able to keep following...
How the heck did he manage to... I guess Zhi didn't let his guard down.
No, Upe says he's much more relaxed than usual. Maybe it's just how he's wired. Perceptive enough.
Don't blame yourselves. Let's not forget he was trained by Uncle Tien himself. Evading detection is not an unusual skill for him to have. If I'd asked you to tail Uncle Tien, you'd have ended up at a dead end too. It's fine. So, where did you lose him?
Shinyue Kiosk. He only went in briefly. Upe and I were watching outside the whole time. A few moments later, a man dressed in a completely different outfit came out. Upe had a feeling that it was him, but I figured that if we spooked him, it would undo what we've accomplished today so far. Another option would have been to arrest him there and then, but without any evidence. So I stopped Upe, and I stayed here to wait for you while that meathead went to ask around in Shinyue Kiosk.
Good work. The fish didn't take the bait, but that's okay. As long as he's still swimming around,
Yeah.
we'll find a way to catch him eventually. Let's go to Shinyue Kiosk.
Don't have to book anything, just...
Could you explain to me how that works? A guy like him comes in, changes his whole outfit right under your nose, and you don't even ask him about it?
Our customers are free to dress however they please. What grounds would I have to question him?
Okay, fair enough, but didn't you think it was just a little bit strange?
Well, maybe I did, but it still doesn't give me the right to stop him.
Enough. Let's tone this down a little. I'll make this quick. Just one question. What did he buy while he was here?
Oh, he didn't buy anything. He just picked up a bottle of liquor that he ordered ages ago.
A bottle of liquor?
Yes, a very strong kind. Fiery, with a rich flavor. Not something the average customer would order. This gentleman ordered it in person from us a long time ago. He was only here today to pick...
Liquor and wine.
Where to?
Shigu Antiques.
Yeah, because you need to get that thingamajigger. Lilang.
Hey, Miss Lin Long.
Lin Long,
Sorry to
sorry.
bother you. Zhi ordered a wanware set from you not long ago. We're friends of his. He's been telling us how impressed he is with the quality, considering how affordable it was. So we just had to come and take a look for our...
Sure. Which model are you looking?
We don't really know a whole lot about wineware. Let's just go with Zhi's choice. Would you be able to show us the one he bought?
Jerry picked up his set not long ago. As a quality imitation of an antique wineware set, it has the look and feel of a luxury item. Just so you're aware, we don't have many of this model left in stock. And now that Mr. Jerry has taken one, I'm afraid it may encourage the price to go up a little.
Don't worry. Price shouldn't be an issue. I'm sure we can work something out. But I'm just a little hazy on one thing.
For this set, the wine glasses are sold separately. Minimum purchase is 1 glass, maximum is 4. Mr. Jerry bought 2.
Okay. Thanks, Lin Long. Seems there's a little more to buying wineware than I first thought. We'll have to mull it over.
Well, don't take too long. We could sell out any day now. All right, see you next time.
Yeah, sure.
This is turning into a real headache.
I'd just like to point out that we have the self-professed Grand Master of Fieldwork here to thank for being wholly incapable of tailing an ordinary...
It's not like you did any better.
My specialty is information trading, okay? I don't have the physical agility. What's your excuse?
That point.
Yellow, so is the plan
Love it.
failed? Oh, if we can't figure out where Jerry went, there's not much we can...
If so, it's no ordinary celebration.
What do you mean?
First of all, Zhi isn't much of a drinker. On some level, he hates alcohol because of what it did to his father. If he was just looking to celebrate by himself, he wouldn't spend his meager savings on an expensive bottle of alcohol, let alone buy a pair of special... No, this is a victory feast. Held in honor of Zhi's private sponsor. Whoever this person is clearly enjoys hard liquor and has a very high status. Now, where might we find Fatui who match that description?
At the back?
Fatui officials. Should be either the Snezhnayan Embassy or the Northland Bank.
Have both locations surrounded. Take as many people as you need.
Lady Yelan, is it time for us to make our move? If so, you can count me in.
Get with the program, would you? This is a covert surveillance operation. Zhi may be vigilant, but that doesn't mean the same is true for his drinking buddy. In which case, we don't need to change tactics. Just change who we're following.
Great idea! So we just need to find out who Jerry...
But Lady Yelan, if we get caught, this could become a major diplomatic
Then
incident.
don't get caught.
I'm well aware, but don't you see? Zhi is gambling everything. Stick to your orders, and make sure we're covering all other bases too. Anywhere else Zhi might be going. I want eyes on those locations.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't worry, Lady Yelan. Zhi may be a slippery character, but we'll keep a close watch on the movements of all Fatui officials.
I'll be waiting for you at the tea house. If I'm guessing correctly, Fatui officials are likely to take action at night. You should go and get ready. Then meet me at Yenshang Tea.
Oh, Ying tea house. Well, we'll just fly down there instead, I guess.
Perfect timing. Wenyuan just sent word that the Fatui ambassador, Yusupov, just left the embassy alone. He's heading in the direction.
Chingshu Pool? That's
It looks like that's where they've arranged to meet. Sensible choice. Qingshu Pool is always crawling with monsters. Most people wouldn't dream of going there. It's one place they won't need to worry about being seen.
oh no.
Let's go. If my hunch is correct, we just might hit the jackpot this.
And a random caterpillar.
This is Qingshu Pool, full of ruins, crawling with monsters. Anyone with any sense steers well clear of this place. I've looked into the place before. There's a worker's entrance somewhere around here. Follow me. Take it easy. There's been some work done on this place in the past, but it's a bit of a labyrinth inside. The workers left an
Hey, we
emergency
get to go
access
in the
route.
dungeon.
Still, be ready to fight at any moment.
Don't worry, we're all professionals here. By the way, Yelan, where are your 3 little helpers at?
They have other things to take care of first. We couldn't afford to wait for them, but they'll join us later.
Well, I guess I'm probably gonna
Count me in.
get Jalen anyways as a trial character.
Everyone hold hands.
Hold the line. Cut to the chase.
As I expected, but this shouldn't be too much trouble.
I just wanted to check.
You guys see that? That's gotta be the Fatui ambassador here to meet Ji. Looks like he went through. That must be the emergency access route, right? Come on, let's. Yeah!
Was I supposed to be able to go in here? I actually don't know. Well, can I get out? Thank you. That almost ended badly.
Incoming.
Take those. And that.
The water's gone down.
there's another way from the water. Baby. Can't leave any chest behind.
This is the construction workers' emergency access route, but it's closed tight. Trying to break through would be risky. Let's see if we can find another way.
Yeah, we already know this. I just went over to check. Why is this even a thing? Oh, matter. Oh, I didn't see anything, I guess. I actually thought I saw a chest, but I was wrong.
Don't blink.
My bad. I just saw nothing. Apparently. Oh, so I could actually just have gotten in here without. But I can actually squeeze.
This one's got your name on it.
First, we're gonna do this, right? You can be moved.
Allow me. With sword comes shadow. Speed of light. Hey!
Yeah. That. And hell yes. Oh, it's this one. That was the plan, yes.
The water's flowed into the groove, and now the statues have lit up. Okay, now we should be able to move the statues.
Easy enough.
The door is open. Let's go.
Let's go.
We should be nearly at the bottom now. Let's wrap this up.
Hello.
I see everything. Rusty, leave it. Incoming. Ah, nowhere to hide. Speed of light. Ha. Yeah. Ha. Yeah. Ha.
I can tell from the aroma that this is very fine liquor indeed. I'm impressed. Come on, bottoms up. After you, of course.
Oh, sorry, that went down the wrong way.
You'll get there. If you want to stay friends with us, you have to drink with us.
I'll do my best.
You're more of a lightweight than I thought. Already struggling after one glass? I thought you were made of sterner stuff. You certainly kept it together when you were poisoning your teacher's soup. Come on, another round. Less talking, more drinking.
Sure. You didn't leave me much of a choice, though, did you? Just the mention of poisoning sends shivers down my spine. I'm more timid than you realize. Every time I poisoned him, I had to hide away at home for a few days because I was so scared of getting caught.
Look, I know it has not been easy for you, my friend. We appreciate all your hard work, but I have to say, you really are quite a genius at poisoning people. I mean, the poison we brought from Snezhnaya is as strong as this wine, but you found a way to turn it into an imperceptible, slow-acting poison and came up with the idea of delivering it through fish soup. What was it you said? Oh, yeah. You said the soup's fishy flavor neutralizes the pungency of the poison, and this process even makes the soup tastier as a result.
It struck me one day when I was fishing. I'm lucky it did. Otherwise, I'm not sure I would have been able to fool Uncle Tien.
You have performed excellently. The Fatui will continue to provide the support you need to consolidate your position as Tien Shu. Of course, this is as long as you continue to do as we instruct. Aside from Qingshu Pool, we also have some other requests for you.
Don't worry. Whatever tasks you have for me...
Did you hear that? It was poison. That's why Uncle T... What a nasty guy. Seize him.
Hold on. Did you bring a camera? If not, you can use mine. This is quite a scene. We have to cap...
Excellent liquor. We've, seen no progress on the diplomatic front, and everyone has been eyeing up the treasure of Qingshu Pool. But soon, everything will be taken care of, and I can report back on a successful mission. I remember when I first saw you. I knew right away that you would make a good partner for us. Hey, do you still remember what I said to you?
How could I forget? You said a lowly commoner like me could never be seen as a serious The only way is for you to shine bright in the Tianshu's darkest moment.
Yes. Under normal circumstances, the gap between you and other people could only ever grow. Just look at your two competitors. Chen Wei had wealth. Ming Boa had reputation. But you... And that's why I decided to help you. You know, there's an old saying in the Fatui. Give a starving dog a bone, and it'll guard your home for the rest of its life.
Yes. I cannot thank you enough for your generous support.
You know, the best thing about you is that you do as you're told with... heck, when you're not in the company of the Fatui, you'll be able to throw your weight around as much as you want. How about that?
Uncle Gao said that Zhi has low self-esteem. He was worried that whatever advantage he might have now will diminish over time. So the Fatui persuaded him that he should act while he... Do you have any more film in the camera?
Plenty.
Then get ready to use it. Tonight's grand finale should be coming up. How well this goes for us depends on how Jur-E plays his hand.
Ooh, is there any more alcohol? Go on. Fill me up. I'm in a good mood today, and I'm gonna drink my fill.
There's only a little left. Here, I'll fill your glass. If you like it, I can bring you some more next time.
Whoa, this is the good stuff. It is great. Huh?
Oh, he poisoned them.
Jur-E, you poisoned my wine? But when?
You seem surprised, Mr. Yusupov.
How could you?
How could I not? I've sacrificed years of my life studying and reflecting to prepare myself for this position. And in the end, I even had to poison my own teacher. You really think I'd put myself through all that just to become your little puppet?
Damn.
I don't want to bow down to anyone ever again.
You imbecile. It's the Fatui who got you to where you are. Do you understand? If I disappear with no explanation, the embassy will come after you. They'll get to the bottom of this. Mark my word.
Do you see the haystack in the corner? Underneath it is a pile of explosives. And next door in the dark room are the 3 undercover agents you sent to infiltrate the Black Cliff Forge. I'm gonna stay here till I see you slip into unconsciousness. Then I'm gonna set this on fire. Once the flames burn through the hay, they'll ignite the explosives, the ruins will collapse, and everything will be buried.
What do you hope to?
I took the liberty of leaving some evidence of your contact with the undercover agents at the Black Cliff Forge. It won't take long for people to join the dots. 2 missing person cases will become 1 as the truth gradually reveals itself. The Fatui planted undercover agents in the Black Cliff Forge to steal their signature ruin-grade explosives. Their plan was to blow through the solid floor tiles in the dead of night and seize the treasure of Qingshu Pool. But things didn't quite go to plan. Faced with the overwhelming evidence, the embassy won't investigate this any further. In fact, they'll be only too happy to blame it all on a rogue operation by you. It explains why you acted alone, while exonerating the rest of the embassy of any liability. Of course, none of that will have anything to do with me. When all of this comes to my attention, I'm afraid I'll have no choice but to cancel the Qingshu Pool redevelopment plan immediately. I guess then, I'll be Tianshu in my own right, with a clean record and well out of the Fatui's reach.
Jur-E, do you really think you're gonna get away with this? The Fatui has a record of everything. That includes the poison, all interactions between us, even my trip here tonight. After I die, they'll come looking, and they'll get to the bottom of this.
A record? Oh, you must mean the one in the hands of your second-in-command, Theophon?
What? How do you know about that?
Because when you contacted me, I also made contact with your associates. I have Theophon to thank for providing me with the poison I used on you today. He'll help me tie up all the loose ends. After all, your untimely demise comes with a few perks for him. He has been eyeing your position for a long time now.
That traitor!
Shh. Relax. It's over. After tonight, everyone gets what they want. And anyone else in the know is either my accomplice or about to be taken out of the picture. Sweet dreams, Mr. Yusupov.
Fucking frick. Oh.
I did a little surveying on the way here and found that you'd left yourself 3 escape routes in case things went south. I have them all surrounded. If you're thinking of trying anything, save yourself the effort. The game's up. We were here the whole time and have pictures of everything. They came out pretty nicely. Want to see them?
The game's up? Forgive me, I'm not quite sure what you're referring to, Miss Yelan. I happened to discover a Fatui operation here, so I approached them on the pretext of joining forces and eventually brought them down from within. If it pleases you, Miss Yelan, I'd be only too happy to have you join me in
This is how you want to play it, huh? Fine. You do you. All we need to do to convict you is establish that the poison in his system is the same as in Uncle Tien's. Nothing else you wanted to add? Let's leave it there then.
Rigged.
One wrong move and it all comes crashing down. I should have been more careful. You followed him here, didn't you? I was so focused on keeping myself out of sight, I forgot he was a potential liability. Let's talk about this, Yelan. I gave you my word that I would live up to the Tianshu name, and that much I can still guarantee.
Your point being?
When I take office, I can guarantee that I will act in your best interests. In fact, all of you here tonight can expect very generous treatment in the future. I don't deny that I used underhanded methods to get here. But given my lowly origins, what other choice did I have?
Hard work.
You still don't get it, do you? Even now. What do you think? Exactly. Jur-E, clever people can always come up with a good excuse. But while you might be able to get other people to believe you, you'll never be able to deceive yourself. There's nothing wrong with wanting to win other people's respect, but when has Uncle Tien ever looked down on you? He was like a teacher and a father to you, but you chose to repay that by poisoning him. Whatever positive goal you may have started out with, you threw it away in that moment.
That's enough.
Of course. What makes this even crueler is that you managed to convince yourself there was no other way. Uncle Tien was always going to give you this opportunity, even if you'd done nothing at all. Out of everyone in the world, he is the one who trusts you the most. So much that he drank your fish soup without doubting you, not for 1 second.
That's enough. That's enough.
Get wrecked.
Life is like fishing. It cannot be rushed. Whatever you do, impatience will accomplish nothing. I was just like you once, desperate to prove myself. Only later did I realize things do not always turn out the way you plan. But you have to keep calm to carry on.
Yep.
You're
Wise word.
still young. Be patient, believe in yourself, and don't look outside yourself to prove your value.
Oh, they get me goosebumps. God damn.
Where's Jury these days? It's been a long time since he last paid me a visit.
Maybe he's just busy.
Well, next time, if he doesn't bring a pot of piping hot fish soup, don't let him in.
Whatever you were thinking about, you'll have plenty of time to mull it over in prison. Oh, I almost forgot. If the Fatui find out what happened today, prison might not turn out to be the safest place for you. Trying to have friends on both sides, it has a way of turning everyone against you. But right now, I have an opportunity for you.
Huh?
Sorry, things are about to get extremely busy for me. Let's meet at Yanshang Tea House tomorrow morning. I'll have someone remove the explosives. Then, there's someone I have to go and see.
Need our help with that?
No, it could be dangerous. You should leave this one to the professionals. Don't worry. As long as they're willing to cooperate, this'll be a straightforward deal. Get some rest. See you tomorrow.
God damn, what a story. Again, they do it with a good story. Oh, give me goosebumps, man. God damn. Golly.
There is now no poison left in his system. But recovery from the damage already done will not happen overnight.
Dr. Baiju, is my father going to be...
You needn't worry too much. Keep taking the prescribed medicine every day, and a full recovery will take at most 2 to 3 years. It's good we caught it in time. A few days later, and the toxin would have built up in the internal organs. At that point, things would have been much more serious.
How did they successfully secure such a seldom-seen poison? It seems the Fatui are extremely
I like the snake
resourceful.
though.
Unfortunately for them, they were up against us.
Uncle Tien will be heading off now. Remember to get plenty of rest and avoid overexerting yourself while you're recovering.
Don't worry, I will. Thank you very much. Ah, you're here too? Thank you for all you've done to resolve this situation. Yes, the exhaustion seems to have gone. My mind is steadily getting clearer again.
Nice.
Luckily, it looks like choosing the Tianshu's successor is suddenly not such a pressing issue after all.
Hey, Yelan!
My work is mostly wrapped up, so I thought I'd take a minute to check in here. The assessment process comes to an end here, Uncle Tien. In my opinion, Zhi is not suitable for the position. But Qianwei and Mingbo both have potential.
You have my gratitude. People can change their loyalties easily. I've always known this. But whenever it happens, it's still a dismal experience.
Yeah.
Is it just Paimon, or is...
Don't underestimate Uncle Tien. He wouldn't have appointed me as assessment officer if he hadn't had his doubts about Zhi. Normally, the Yuehai Pavilion would be responsible for assessing the candidates. Isn't that right, Uncle Tien?
Yes, to be quite honest, I wanted to trust him unreservedly. But I have to be responsible with the position of Tianshu. When I first met Zhi, I wondered if he had approached me with a hidden agenda. So I secretly investigated. I concluded that he had no ulterior motives whatsoever. He just saw me as an ordinary fishing friend. In the end, even he changed. I never had any plans to recommend him directly, but I always intended to give him the chance to compete on a level playing field. Family background and fame mean everything to many people, but I don't attach great importance to them. I had no reputation to speak of when I first became Tianshu. I relied on Ganyu's assistance for all manner of things.
Yay, Ganyu!
What I really admired
I have to admit, he's a smart guy, and very cautious. The intel suggests that the Fatui saw him as very low risk, but Zhi was still extremely careful with the poisoning. He chose that specific liquor from Xingyue Kiosk because the fiery flavor would mask the bitterness of the poison, and he chose to wait until the Fatui official was drunk and had his guard down before delivering it to him. He also installed a secret compartment in the wine pot he bought to hold the poison. As the amount of liquor went down, he'd shake the pot to release the poison from the compartment into the liquor. Afterwards, we also found he had an antidote on him. Had the Fatui official grown suspicious, Zhi would have drunk the poisoned wine himself, and then found an opportunity to take the antidote shortly afterward.
But that's still really dangerous.
Yes. Had he drunk the poisonous wine, he still would have faced serious health consequences despite taking the antidote. He didn't hesitate to put himself in harm's way to achieve his...
How is Zhi now?
Well, I mean, he's sitting in a jail cell. Like Yanfei says, everyone who breaks the law has to pay the price. Still, he's cooperating. He didn't turn down my offer to strike a deal. I'll make sure there are plenty of guards around to keep him safe from anything the Fatui might be planning.
A deal? Does this have to do with what you said to him when...
Yes, Zhi's not the one I'm interested in. If he was as far as this went, I'd have handed the case off to my subordinates as soon as I realized. But once the Fatui became involved, things got a whole lot more interesting. I thought I might have the chance to catch a big fish.
Well, did you?
Almost. Unfortunately, it slipped off the hook at the last second.
Uncle Tien? Yeon? What are you talking about?
Jur-E colluded with the Fatui to try and secure the position of Tianshu. Or, to put it the other way around, the Fatui made an attempt to interfere in the Tianshu selection process. With Yusupov in our hands, and a statement from Jur-E, we could afford to continue with a diplomatic offensive. Also, we'd be able to gain control of Theophan, Yusupov's second-in-command. Then we'd have a pawn in the ranks of the Fatui. Pawns like this can be major assets. They open up all sorts of new options. Why else did you think I was investing so much time and effort into this case?
So, okay, well, did your plan succeed?
We got halfway. The first part went off without a hitch, and we passed all the information on to Lady Ningguang. But when we tried to make contact with Theophan, he was gone, along with all the evidence.
The Fatui must be spying on us. Otherwise, they'd never been able to respond so quickly.
I found out from other sources that the Harbinger Regrator got involved. The Fatui's main forces aren't concentrated here. Regrator was only treating this as a peripheral concern. It's a pity that Theophan got away. But knowing which Harbingers are still looking at Liyue is something. It gives me a starting point for my next mission.
I have to ask, Yelan, do you have any desire to take over the position of Tianshu yourself? I remember you showed some interest a few days ago at Yenshang Tea House. In my estimation, you are more than competent.
Oh, that. I was obviously joking. I prefer my current life. There's danger and there's excitement. Although it'd still be a behind-the-scenes role. As Tianshu, I wouldn't have the chance to get involved in anything truly clandestine or face any real danger. All right, I'm done here. Time for me to go. I'm heading off again in a few days, and I still have to prepare.
Where are you off to this time?
She can't tell
As you might have guessed. It's for me to know and you to find out. But I'm sure if you keep going as you are, getting yourselves involved in other people's business all the time, you're sure to get caught up in another misadventure before too long. Maybe I'll see you the next time danger beckons. Until then, keep your wits about you. A lot of people are watching you for a lot of reasons. If you have any more questions, just ask Uncle Tien. After the recent turn of events, I'd say he owes you one, wouldn't you?
Calculated damage. Let's go. Some more God of Prosperity. I actually have enough for 2 more wishes. Oh yeah, that's right, it's already off now. Look. Alright, what to do now? Now we should have... yeah. Then we... That's not where...
Hold the line! With sword comes shadow. Attack! Everyone hold hands. Cut to the chase. Don't blink.
Can't run from death. Can't run from death.
I have to pick it up as soon as I get. Yes. Only need one right now, so. That's pretty good. Oh, I don't need that. Just need to go in here. Then let's go for some. Oh yeah. What? Love this one as well. That's fine. Let's do some bosses. Was it also? Well, it didn't need that many now. To get her to the max as well, which is pretty good. Going to warm no worries, Ken. See you around. Let's go and get the alien out as well. For this one.
Who's our target this?
Allow me!
Things are about to get dicey. Take it easy.
Hey! Nowhere to hide.
Busted.
Committed to memory.
Gotcha. Game's up. Fun's over.
Hey!
Let's move out. Rest and rebuild.
Nice. I'm back on my phone. Nice. Let's go down, but here can't really use water. So maybe I should try. Maybe we should try this one. See if we can make it work, because I'm still struggling making this team work.
I see everything. Sharing my knowledge.
Here comes the catch.
The process of elimination.
Out of my way! Dissipate!
Here you are.
But not this time, and not in this part, but at least. Well, potentially 2 more times on this boss, and we have everything we need for Arena. Get a max. This boss I'm really struggling with, though. Which is really annoying. It's cold outside. Yeah, it's not. We haven't had the warmest of springs lately. I'll give you that. For sure. It has been quite cold weather. Is it just me, Kim, or is there not that many cool anime characters? I mean, Wonder is fine and Venti is pretty cool, but there's just not that many others. I mean, I really like Jean also, and Lynette, but that's kind of where it stops for me. I might be wrong. I actually don't know. But it's like, I just don't feel like there is that many that I would consider.
Stand with me.
Give him some more crystal now, that's fine. No, many people are fans of the Animal Crossing. Yeah, I mean, Kim, that statement is like many people are fans of many things. Well, I don't know, but I like most of them. Yeah. Can't remember. Is there a way to view all the characters? Character archive, I guess. I mean, I guess Shangyo is also. Oh yeah, Kazuha, of course. Shao is also a fan. I mean, I guess you're right. I mean, people like Sucrose as well, and they also kind of like this guy I can't pronounce, Aisu, but he's just not good. That's what people are complaining about, that they like him, but he's not good. I mean, I guess it's just I really like Animo as an element. Cat Rose, how are you doing? I just don't feel like it's. I don't know. Maybe I just need to use it more.
Our bond is strong.
Well met.
Busted. Everyone for his.
You can't run. Well, a load of dancing.
Not that many which imply you forget it. Yeah, but there are also not that many of them. If we're being honest.
Winter shall eventually come.
Because if I go back now, I mean, I'm missing 5 of them, but that's also the 5 important ones, because that's probably the one that is actually good. But what is that? What, that's 11? Okay, there's actually more than there is Geo, fair enough. What about Cryo? But there's still 3 more Cryo characters. There's the same amount of Electro. Same amount of Hydro. Mono Animal seems are a thing, yeah. There's 3 more Pyro. Hydro is actually the least. No, still, like, yeah. I mean, you are not wrong. Well, you're never wrong, but I don't know why. Then maybe I just don't have the Animo characters. Obviously, I can't get Kazuha now because he's not a banner off. But
Come at me.
I see everything.
Don't be a killjoy. We've only just begun.
A process of elimination.
I miscalculated.
I'm always right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm not foolish enough to say anything else. But it's just when I'm... Maybe it's just... Maybe the character just doesn't say me anything. But Shanyu doesn't really appeal to me. Wanderer doesn't appeal to me. Shao doesn't appeal to me. Venti I like. Kazu I like. Jean I like. And I like Lynette. But that's about it. So I guess technically I could make a team with it, but... Oh, fuck no, man. Let's see how well our Hyperbloom team does against this one. It should be fine, right?
Hey! I'll settle this. Stand with me.
Things are about to get dicey.
Here you are.
Can you get back in here?
Quietly now. No. Busted.
I see everything. I'm seeing stars. The Temple of Wisdom.
Game's up. So
Defract.
And that was because most of your team is also around Dendro or any sim. And since Dendro and then lost popularity. Yeah, that's also true. But also because just Dendro makes everything makes like Hydro and Electro so much better because of Hyper Bloom and Quicken and stuff. But I mean, Kazuha is still really, really good, so... But I also mean, the only reason I'm using Dendro is because I was very lucky in getting Nahida after your recommendation. Which is also correct. Was a correct recommendation, because you're always right. Because Nahida and Yalen is probably two of the best characters in the game.
Stand with me.
gotcha.
Here you are.
Out of my way.
Flicker.
This way.
This may hurt a little.
Also, not a problem is Daniel is basically almost purely a support Shao. Llama is purely a support. They keep it in the... Yeah. That is also a great point to bring up. Because Animo in general, if not supporting themselves, they only support others as well. Only enables other people's. So except for Shao and Wanderer. The best support is Kazuha and Venti. The best DPS is... Yeah. You are correct. Because I do actually like the idea of Animal, but I guess I just don't like the characters. I guess that's where it is. Nothing to do about it. Same, basically the same in Kit. Yeah. It's just the 4-star visuals aren't that good. Yeah, that's true. But he has a very nice kit. He has a very fun playstyle. It's just not that good. And the same kind of goes for most of the, I mean, it's not that they're not good, but most of the animal characters just better things to do, I suppose.
Meow.
The Nets hang out. Exactly.
It's you. 1 second. Now activating chat mode. You made me jump there. I thought they'd finally caught me. Objectively speaking, the trouble was entirely of my own making. Half an hour ago, I was at Hotel de Boer for a drinks reception. It was to celebrate the successful opening of a show, but it was draining my energy. So, I waited for the right moment, then snuck away so I could switch to standby mode.
Why is he talking like a
Probably
robot?
because I'm playing the lead role in the show? Is that so surprising? I'm always getting invitations to do solo performances. I just usually get Linny to write back and turn them down. But then came the Fontanalia Film Festival. We took all the kids from the House of the Hearth out to see a film. And after it finished, they all started clamoring for me to try out acting for some reason. Even Linny was chanting along with them. Anyway, it just so happened that a director called Mary had sent me an invitation right around then. I'll spare you the details, but basically, I ended up accepting it. Yep, you nailed it. I'm playing the role of a puppet. In fact, the show's called The Lost Puppet, and it's a masked mime show. So, I don't have to do any facial expressions or say any lines. Literally just a series of physical movements. The director says it's a very avant-garde art form. Art is not comprehended by the mind, but felt in the heart. At least, that's what the director says. Anyway, if nothing else, the opening performance seemed to go down well. At the drinks reception, everyone was crowding around me, saying, "Triumphant character portrayal, faithful adaptation of the original work, unequivocally, quintessentially avant-garde," and stuff like that. But being the center of attention is draining. So the moment they left me to go harass the director instead, I was out of there. The other thing is, some weird things happened while I was on the stage. Oh, sorry, Bonnie. I didn't mean to leave you out of the conversation. No, we just met. We bumped into each other right after I slipped away. Well, it'd be kind of difficult for us to communicate otherwise.
Oh my god.
Besides, I think she's taken a liking to the name. Haven't you, Bonnie? Yeah, that's right. Good kitty. We'll go find your owner soon, I promise. Nope. She's wearing a collar, and for the most part, she's pretty well groomed. If she is a stray, she hasn't been for long. Her stomach's been growling a lot. I guess she must have been missing for a few days now. As much as I'd love to hang out with her for a while longer, her owner's probably worried sick about her. Assuming she has an owner, that is. But the reception... I should probably show my face there again at some point. Even if it's just to make excuses and leave again.
What the fuck is this? Is this what hangout events is?
Well, I just find it exhausting. Thinking through all the different ramifications of different choices and so on. That's more Lenny's area than mine. So, unless it's something really important, I usually just leave the decision-making to him. It's fine. He got Fremine to make me a little something for just this situation. Poof! A phaetometer. It looks pretty over the top, I know, but it's essentially just a box of cards. He kept the design simple, so it'd be harder to break. The way it works is, I pick a card at random, then look at the number on the card. Well, for example, if the number on the card is 5 or higher, I help Bonnie find her owner. If it's less than 5, I go back to the reception. I just have to believe in the bond between me and my cards, and my fate will reveal itself to me in numerical
Believe in the heart of the
form.
cards.
At least, that's what Lenny said. Anyway,
Oh my
I guess
God.
I'll give you a demonstration. Huh, I didn't like that. Was I using it wrong? Maybe if...
Max the card box.
Clearly, there's some design flaws to iron out. I'll have to let Fremine know. Let's see... Which card did I get? 4. Well, the cards fell on the ground though, so I don't think it counts as fate. If you want to get the right answer, you have to let fate decide. So, to put it another way, if picking a card up off the ground is how to not leave it to fate, then that means it must be the wrong answer.
To accept the answer you didn't want.
Or... Why don't you pick a card? Since I ran into you here, that means... our fates are... Thank you. This one is final, I promise.
Oh.
Here, take the phaetometer. If it's 5 or... Also,
Yeah, we know this.
if you have your own thoughts about what I should do, feel free to share it. Now that I've got a good problem solver here to help, I don't need to run every little thing by fate.
But you do need a...
So, we're looking for Bonnie's owner? I think I'll go to the Steambird and see about putting an ad in the paper.
I gotta catch it, are you kidding me? Pedometer. What the fuck?
Every stupendous day starts with a Steambird. Oh, hi Lynette. Hi Traveler. I don't think so. Have you picked up a
Yep. If there's no commission to follow up on, could we post a notice about the missing cat instead?
Why, of course. What a kind thing to do. Just fill out the form.
Well, we've registered you as missing. You can stay at my place until your owner finds you. Also, I just wanted to say thanks for keeping us company for so long. Well, I should probably head back to the drinks reception. Hopefully most of the people have left by now.
By the way, Kim, can you find me a good Lenny team?
If you've got some time, you should stop by my place tomorrow to see Bonnie. There's a nice cup of tea in it for you. Alright, see you then.
Now it's raining. Great. can only mean problems. Yeah, now it's.
I believe this cat
Lenny's
belongs
best
to
in a
me.
monopyro team. Well, I'm actually building a monopyro team. I am working on it.
I already
Just not for
told
Lenny,
you,
though,
this
but
isn't
I
your
could.
cat.
Bennett, yeah. I just got Bennett and Max and Xingling. And I'm working on getting Toma to Max as well.
Just take a breather, you two.
So am I actually already making the team for Lenny without knowing?
Oh, you're here. As you can probably see,
shielded.
you'll
Yeah.
have to take a rain check on that tea I promised you.
So Toma,
At least for
basically.
now.
This is my friend's cat. He's preoccupied with some important business, so I came to retrieve her in his stead.
Basic checks are specially types of check that need to be active. Trigger at specific times. If you pass, you will find some hidden information such as. Not true. Okay.
No, it's far more likely this cat escaped from the Humane Society.
It's just really bad.
Bonnie?
And his burst doesn't come for Lenny because Lenny uses charge shot. Yeah.
That's the name I've given her in the meantime.
What about, well, yeah, you mean such. I like the way you call him Thomas. Close enough. Correct, I guess, because you're on your phone. Layla, do you wanna have good shields? Yeah, sure. I'll look into it. Well, I'm getting Toma up anyways, because I need Toma if I'm gonna get Alicino, because then I'm gonna make my monopyro team.
Well, this complicates things.
I'll tell who how. I don't think that's to you.
I told you before. This is my friend's cat. It's normal for her not.
Listen, I'm the director of the Humane Society, okay? We've got so many strays, dogs, cats, you name it. I'm not even the one feeding them most of the time. You can hardly
Alicino
expect the
with
cat
a
to recognize me.
Case not a Alicino.
She just looked somewhat familiar,
The
so I
knave.
came to check, just in case.
Just gotta call it a knave.
If she turns out to be
Or-
one of
or
ours,
daddy,
I'll take her back.
whatever it
Simple
works.
as that. Even if that's not the case, the Humane
Daddy
Society
cool.
could still take her in, if
And
no
he
one
won't-
else comes
and
to
she won't
claim
be
her,
acting
that
like a
is.
fool. God damn, that sounded so not cool.
We're an organization that specializes in rescuing and sheltering stray animals. We've been in business for several decades now. I'm Bernard, the current director.
Alecino.
The
I mean, you're not
Humane
again.
Society.
I don't know how to pronounce anything,
Huh.
Kim.
The name sounds familiar.
Have you heard
I
Danish?
remember
I mean,
hearing
come
good
on now.
things.
Jesus Christ.
You're the one in the Quartier Lyonnais?
How would you even say that in Danish? You would say. I don't even think you could say that in Danish. That name.
Yes, that's the one. Anyway, if it's not too much trouble, could I possibly take a closer look at the cat? If it turns out I really am mistaken, I suppose that means the cat belongs to this lady here. She would be the only remaining option after all.
It belongs to my friend.
Go on, Bonnie.
God damn.
Oh, nope. Looks like I was mistaken.
They do look similar, but there's an ever so slight difference in this one's fur color. Deepest apologies, friends. Well, I suppose this means I still have a missing cat to search for. Apologies again for the confusion.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Wait a second. You lied earlier, didn't you?
Lied? I'm afraid I don't know what you mean.
A liar always has a tell. The look in their eyes, their breathing pattern,
Yeah.
the way they hold themselves. The things that can give you away are often more numerous than you would think.
What are you talking about? The way I see it, you're conflating baseless conjecture with fact.
Normally, when someone is called out, their breathing speeds up as they begin to panic. But your breathing pattern hasn't changed one bit. In fact, it's been strangely calm and measured this entire time. It stands to reason, then, that your agitated behavior earlier was all an act. If you're a bad guy, I'm sure you'll take off running the first chance you get. If you're a good guy, the most likely explanation is that you're a member of the Guards, or some similar organization.
And you're basing this off of?
Intuition. Nothing more.
Intuition. Well, I have to hand it to you, Lynette. You're right. I'm a member of the Guards. The name's Elodie. I'm currently investigating a cross-border smuggling case. This cat here, Bonnie was her name? Well, her owner is one of the prime suspects of our investigation. A couple of days ago, our suspect got wind that we were on his tail and fled. That's most likely how he got separated from the cat. I just so happened to stumble upon your notice in the Steambird. So, I decided to see if he'd come back for her. But it looks like I overestimated him. The impact of this case has been huge. The Marechaussee Phantom, the Guards, and the Special Patrol have all launched investigations.
Why is it being so hard to pronounce?
If there was even the slightest chance that he would show himself, I had to follow up on the lead. A new kind of illegal drug, imitation synth. We confiscated all the synth on the market, but addiction isn't something that goes away overnight. Even without substances on the market, people are still looking for a way to get their next, and criminals are all too eager to capitalize on that addiction. That was the impetus for imitation synth. Needless to say, after the original synth debacle, we put several measures into place to prevent similar incidents from occurring. The perpetrators got smart, though, and shifted their sales overseas before those measures could kick in. We only recently got word of the presence of imitation synth overseas. We managed to track down evidence of some early transactions. What we were able to find out, however, hasn't proven that useful given the amount of time that has passed. The Marechaussee Phantom launched an investigation to track down every person in Fontaine capable of producing a drug like that. That's how we learned about Bonnie's owner. He's a researcher at the Fontaine Research Institute. His name is Pierre.
Lefebvre.
I'm not sure.
The Marechaussee Phantom found him in
Who
Poisson.
knows?
In addition to the cat, he also had a pendant with him.
That's actually quite cool.
At first, there wasn't much cause for suspicion. A search of his house didn't reveal much to go off of either. The Marechaussee Phantom very nearly left it at that. It was only later that we realized the coat of arms on his pendant belonged to none other than the Lefebvre family, one of the most infamous aristocratic families in Fontaine. Obviously, this discovery prompted a further investigation into Pierre.
That's not possible, actually. The Lefebvre family has been gone for a long time.
Exactly. Many years ago, several important members of the family, including the patriarch, were murdered by an assassin of unknown origin. From that point on, the family's power and influence took quite the hit. The family is engaged in all manner of crimes. As you can imagine, there's no shortage of people waiting in the wings to take their revenge. And with the family severely weakened, they were able to do just that. Most of the remaining family members succumbed to sickness or hunger. The ones that survived are currently living out their days under a new identity. Pierre is one of those very survivors. He's been hiding away in the Fontaine Research Institute all these years. Well, my fellow guards have told me all about how smart and courageous you both are. And I know you possess a strong sense of justice. There could be a chance that Pierre, or one of his accomplices, might attempt to get close to Bonnie. Now that you've been briefed on the situation, I was hoping you'd help us keep a lookout. If I take Bonnie back to the guards with me, there's no way Pierre will try and come for her. Not even the most daring of criminals would attempt something like that. I have to admit, I'm not holding out too much hope that Pierre will come back for her. But if there's even the slightest chance, then it's worth a shot. Well, I've got some other leads to follow up on. If Pierre does appear, please contact me right away.
You got it.
It's nothing. I'm fine. It's just the head of the Lefebvre family. He was the eminent person who kidnapped me all those years ago. It was at a dinner party. Someone tricked me into boarding the Lefebvre family carriage. Whoever it was, they took me back to their home, but before anything worse could happen, Father intervened. Yep. Father
Yeah, I
was
was
the one
about
who
to-
orchestrated the fall of the Lefebvre family. That's what led Lenny and I to join the House of the Hearth after all these years.
Ooh.
I never thought I'd hear the Lefebvre name again.
Nice.
Don't worry about me. I wasn't feeling sorry for myself. I was just thinking about Lenny. He's been acting strange recently. He avoids me for days on end, consumes himself with some secret investigation, and then out of the blue pushes me to do that acting. Thinking about it now, it's almost like the one I drew from that deck of cards was part of his plan all along. He must have asked Fermine to help him out. In any case, I know he's hiding something from me. It's very possible. I'm sure he tried to send me away because he was afraid it would bring up some painful memories for me. It wasn't necessary, though. Even after all these years, he's still as overprotective as ever. You'll have to help me teach him a lesson if we run into him along the way. Yep. I want to head to the Fontaine Research Institute to learn more information about Pierre. Just let me activate search mode, and then we'll head out. A little bit of both, perhaps. For the most part, though, I just have the sense that something's not right. Okay, I'll write a letter explaining everything to the crew. Once that's done, we can head out.
Hey, Chevrolet.
Lynette, you're, not at rehearsal?
You can drop the act, brother. In fact, I don't think either of us will have a need for acting anytime soon. You should know better than to try and keep something from me. You've never been able to do that, even when we were kids.
And that's why I tried to distract you with the masked mime show. But I guess you're just too good.
Care to introduce us to your new assistant?
How is it? Weird.
This is Officer Shavras, captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. You may have met her already.
I mean, it's. I'm not a big fan on how it's made the hangout event. I gotta be honest. But I like some of the story bits that is in there. But that might just be specifically to this.
Nice to see you. I should clarify something. Mr. Linney's here at my invitation, not the other way around. To borrow your expression, Miss Lynette, I suppose that would make him my assistant more than anything. We've brought on Mr. Linney as a consultant in the past. He was instrumental in helping us crack a case involving a perpetrator who used magic tricks to commit crimes.
Ah, so you've heard everything then?
That's exactly why we're here. There's always been questions surrounding the fall of the Lefebvre family. Some people even believe the House of the Hearth was involved. Whoever was behind it all was extremely cautious. They didn't leave a shred of evidence. This very fact, however, leads me to believe it was indeed the work of that harbinger. I took a look at the entrance and exit records of all the carriages that night. Let's just say it wasn't hard to deduce that there's ill will between you two. Don't worry, I don't have any evidence to that effect, and I certainly don't plan on going to bat for such a despicable family. Plus, you were victims back then more than... I sought Mr. Linney's help with the smuggling case. Nothing more. The way I look at it, it's a collaboration between us as people, not the organizations we represent. Besides, by working together, we can expose the truth as quickly as possible. You can hardly say that's at odds with the justice my organization strives for. Not at all. I was planning to invite you from the very beginning, Miss Lynette. It's just that my assistant here raised some objections.
Linny, I'm not the same person I was back then. That little girl who did nothing but cower in the corner in fear. She doesn't need saving anymore.
I'm sorry, Lynette. You're right. I let my concerns get the better of me.
Oh, and the next time you want to distract me, you should try a different approach.
Who's this? You pick up a stray while I was gone?
It's a bit complicated. I'll explain later. Anyway, her name's Bonnie.
Well, if there are no objections, then I suppose the only thing left to say is... Lynette, Traveler, welcome to the team.
It appears the Lefebvre family was very particular in their use of insignias and emblems. The family would use different emblems to mark differences in status, blood relation, and the like. In fact, the insignia that was discovered on the pendant was used to represent an illegitimate child.
It's highly likely. That very status might have been what allowed him to emerge from the fall of his family relatively unscathed. It would also explain why he was able to assume a new identity as a researcher.
We discovered something interesting, though. After talking to some of his co-workers, it appears he pretty much works at the Institute in name only. He's practically been cast out.
Apparently, Pierre was once addicted to synth. He tried to use the resources at the Institute to create a substance with a similar effect. He claimed it was just for research purposes, but the Institute revoked his access to the relevant materials regardless. He was placed on disciplinary leave, pending a thorough investigation of his action. But it seems the Institute ran into some trouble along the way. Could have been a lack of personnel or a timing issue. In any case, they had to table their formal investigation into Pierre. Unfortunately, that also included reporting any relevant information. As for his family background, it appears none of his co-workers at the Institute were aware of that information. All they could tell us was that he was quite the recluse. Other than the pendant, we didn't find anything else of note at his residence in Poisson. Based on the samples of imitation synth we've been able to analyze, it appears the substance leaves behind strong traces wherever it's produced, or those traces might not be obvious to the casual observer, but they're not something our guard poodles would miss. Pierre's home, though, came up completely clean. We didn't find any records indicating possible involvement in overseas transactions either. So, the Marechaussee Phantom didn't view him as a major suspect at first.
Maybe he had a separate, dedicated area where he made the imitation.
Well, his neighbors did say he was often gone for long stretches of time. You would think with him out and about so much, people would have spotted him around Poisson, but residents said they barely ever saw him in town. If his reclusive nature was just a matter of keeping a low profile, I guess it would make sense for him to have a secret base to carry out.
After he disappeared, the guards conducted a thorough search of Poisson, but they didn't come across any suspicious location.
Poisson. You know Hotel de Boer, where I first found Bonnie? To get there from Poisson, you have to cross a stretch of ocean. It's not somewhere a cat could just wander off on its own.
A cat?
Bonnie is Pierre's cat.
Oh, that's right! When the Marechaussee Phantom first tracked him down, I remember there being something about a cat.
From what we've learned about Pierre's habits, he doesn't seem like the type to venture out without a purpose. So what you're saying, Lynette, is that Bonnie couldn't have gone missing in Poisson. If that...
Exactly. Bonnie might even know where it is.
Wait, you think the cat can lead us there? But she's not trained like one of our guard poodles. How is she supposed to understand what we want?
Hey.
Near the coast, the beach.
Well, I've certainly never taken a witness statement like this before.
Well, if it works out, maybe it's something worth getting used to.
Cats and humans are actually pretty alike. When it comes to communication, most of what we want to convey can be accomplished through body language alone. But humans tend to rely too much on speech to ever take advantage of that fact. Of course,
correct.
body language has its limitations. You're not going to be able to get across anything too complicated.
The important thing is that we now have a lead.
Yep. And let's try and avoid all this excess and completely unnecessary extra fucking text all the time. It's way too much explanation.
Seems like Bonnie is trying to take us somewhere.
Thanks for the obvious. We already knew this.
Gardamex ahead.
Look out!
Bond is strong.
Busted.
I pressed the wrong one. Come on, kill him.
Everyone hold hands. Stand with me.
Things are about to get tight.
Defract!
Wow, Lynette, you found this place so easily. If I thought there was any chance you'd say yes, I'd recruit you into the Special Patrol here and now. No questions asked.
Sounds familiar. I pretty much receive letters daily from people trying to poach her from me.
Let's just focus on our search.
Aha! Just as we thought. This is where the Looks like he's got more than just imitation synths stashed around here. In addition to the raw materials needed to synthesize the substance itself, these cleaning agents are likely used to dispel traces of the substance. The Special Patrol did some digging into imitation synth. Our records indicate that it's very difficult for ordinary people to detect. It must have taken a considerable amount of time and skill to ensure all the... But what are these other drugs for?
Who knows?
The material these bags are... It's the very same, actually. Romaritime flower fiber. But there's something special about the composition of these bags. Even the strings look specially designed to keep the bags closed nice and tight. I came across some bags made of the same material just now, but they were much smaller and thinner. From the look of them, very similar actually. Normally it would be easy for a guard poodle to sniff out the imitation synth, but if it was sealed away in a bag... But what could these big bags be for then? If the goal is to keep the imitation synth hidden...
When the Marechaussee Phantom searched Pierre's house, there was no sign of these barrels. You're right. That doesn't seem like his way of doing things. How?
It can be seen around the circumference of the barrel.
Only the lower halves of the barrels appear to have been some...
Based on the various ingredients we've found, this appears to be where Pierre was cooking up his... It looks like he used a special cleaning agent to get rid of any residual
So then he transferred the imitation synth into small sealed bags and took...
No. I don't believe our suspect is the kind of person who'd go around carrying incriminating evidence with him. That would potentially create too many eyewitnesses. The cleaning agent and the sealed bags might get past the guard poodles. But if a member of the public or even a guard on patrol happened to see him during the drop-off, a quick search would reveal everything.
The barrels we found were wet around the base, but the top half was dry. As if they'd been standing upright in the water. If you put a barrel in the water, it will normally float on its side. Unless it's heavily loaded, in which case it'll sink.
Yes. With flotation rings around the body of the barrels, they'd stay upright in the water. And then he could afford to load them more fully.
You think he used floating barrels? I suppose if he acted at night, when there are very few other boats around and visibility is low, it's a valid theory. We can't rule it out.
But then, wouldn't the barrels be carried off by the waves or the currents? How would the person doing the pickup know where to look?
Traveler, can you come take a dip in the sea with me? I have a feeling that somewhere down there, we might find some rope.
Now we're gonna have a dive.
This isn't the place. The wreckage of a small boat? This isn't the place. Got it. Time to go up and report. As expected, we found a few pieces of rope and some anchoring stones underwater. If you attach them to a floating barrel, it would look like this. With this anchoring system, it would be possible to use floating barrels for the drop-off. You would just need to drop them in the water at the agreed-upon location. We also came across the wreckage of a small boat. It must have been left out on the water and capsized due to the force of the wind and waves. Its small size, however...
Let's talk this through. Based on the evidence we've collected, it seems like Pierre would row a small boat out to the agreed-upon transfer point, drop off the barrels, leave.
It could be that he was trying to avoid meeting up with his associate face-to-face. As one of the sole survivors of the Lefebvre family.
It seems like Pierre deliberately chose the floating barrel method so that the goods could be dropped off and picked up at separate times. That way, the two parties wouldn't have to meet each other.
Well, if that's the case, they must not have a very close working relation.
Let's not jump to any conclusions just yet. Assumptions can be detrimental to solving a case. The most important thing is that we can now confirm Pierre wasn't acting alone. The floating barrel drop-off system is proof enough of that. Let's say for now that he was only in charge of producing the imitation synth. That would mean there has to be at least one other person involved in the operation.
Since we've determined that the goods were transported by boat, maybe we can track down some travel logs or...
We can certainly check the various ports for that information. Absolutely. Before Pierre disappeared, we made sure to investigate all sorts of outward-bound vessels. We also had port authorities keep a lookout for anything. Unfortunately, we were never able to find out how they managed to get the imitation synth across. You're right. Whatever vessel was used for the pickup, the person responsible for smuggling the substance out of Fontaine would have had to use a larger vessel for the actual transport. They must have found a way to disguise the imitation synth to clear port inspections. Exactly. We can't let any opportunities slip through the cracks.
I'll run home and ask some of my brothers and sisters to try and dig up some information.
I should also head back and update my platoon on our progress.
All right. Come on, Bonnie. You too.
Meow. There's a quest out here as well.
Oh, Lynette, Traveler. And Bonnie, too.
Did something happen?
We're here to check the travel logs.
Oh. I see. I'm in charge of guarding the port. You mentioned you were after...
Looks like I've got another hard day of work ahead of me. No, not usually. It's this incident that happened recently, but things are much more complicated now.
By suspicious cargo, do you mean imitation synth?
Yep. However, prohibited substances are just one example. We confiscate all sorts of contraband during the course of our inspections.
So what happens to the goods you confiscate?
Oh, we keep them in a storage locker. If they turn out to be something particularly dubious, we'll turn them over to the Maison Orderly. If the goods are only slightly suspicious but could otherwise be harmless, like raw materials that could potentially be used to create contraband, we return them to the ship they were confiscated from.
Sorry for the wait. These are the travel log...
Oh, you brought Gerard with you.
Actually, he followed me here himself. It's like he smells something on me. Huh. I wonder why Gerard is reacting to you two so strongly.
Huh? We were so careful not to touch it, but we still ended up with traces on us. If it leaves a residue so easily, I just don't understand how the culprit was able...
Why don't you have a look at the travel logs first?
The Humane Society. Their name is all over the exit logs. The purpose for leaving is always listed as
the director of the organization explained that, actually.
Bernard, the director of the Humane Society, was the...
That was also hands-on.
Have you figured it out too, Traveler? When Bernard asked to take a closer look at Bonnie, he was actually checking whether there was any imitation synth in her stomach.
Wait.
The sealed bags we found at the secret base. They were specially made to be corrosion. There were gaps around the lids of the barrels, and airbags were used to keep them upright in the water. Those drug shivers found at the secret base. She most likely didn't recognize them because they're not used on human beings. It's an anesthetic used on pets.
No, animal cruelty.
Must have made the animals swallow the sealed bags full of imitation synth at his secret base. Then he stuffed them into floating barrels and left the rest to Bernard.
The sealed bags combined with an animal's body odor would certainly be enough to mask the scent.
During our inspections, we would have never thought to inspect the bellies of those animals for anything suspicious. Even if we tried to feel around for something, I'm sure it would...
Exactly. I bet Bernard even transported animals with... She's probably in the clear. Otherwise, Bernard would have never left without her. Just imagine. He sees the notice we put in the Steambird, and it turns out that one of the very cats he gave to Pierre for the smuggling operation is out in the open. If Pierre had already hidden the next batch of imitation synth, then Bonnie would practically be living proof of their crimes.
So, that's why he came to find you and insist...
Wait a second, I'm a little lost here. If you've got something as convenient as a floating barrel, why not just stuff it with the imitation synth directly?
In order to make sure the animals could swallow the sealed bags, they made them extremely thin. Had they not done that, the animals would have likely bitten or chewed through them. That step would have required a lot of energy, as well as a certain amount of technical expertise. We've already proven how easy it is to pick up trace amounts of imitation synth, so I'm sure Bernard was taking all the precautions he could to avoid the same fate.
Okay, then let's head to the Humane Society.
Let's do this. Let me just pick up this quest while I'm here. I don't care about your side world quest story here, thank you. I just needed to take it, thank you. So I could do it at a later point. I gotta admit, hangout events is probably not gonna be my thing. I'm probably just gonna do them to get them over with. No offense.
The headquarters of the Humane Society should be somewhere around here. Bernard could show up any moment now.
Ah, here are the people from earlier. Wait.
After him! We can't let him get away! Give it up, Bernard.
Mercy. Have mercy. I'll talk.
The Humane Society has done so much good over the years, and yet you have committed such an atrocious deed in its name.
Look, I didn't have a choice, okay? My father cared about those blasted animals so much, he didn't bother to take care of his human wife and son at all. While those animals were showered with love,
No one asked. Tell me, how did you first get to know Pierre?
Well, after I took over the Humane Society, it gradually became harder and harder to maintain. It's said that I could stand to get a large sum of money as long as I helped them to transport some animals abroad. It was only after a few such transports that I finally understood. But then, Pierre wrote to me, saying that we were already partners in crime and that I better keep cooperating with him if I didn't want to be reported to...
You're lying.
You knew it from the very beginning, didn't you? The reason why you had to go through so many steps just to transport some animals.
I'd suggest that you confess everything right now if you don't want to add anything else to your list of crimes.
Yes, officer. I would order wooden barrels and flotation devices according to his instructions, and then load the sleeping animals onto a boat. Once I sailed to the location he provided, I would dump everything together into the sea. And a few days after that, I'd come by again in my boat and pick up the animals sleeping in the barrels. Once I had received enough of them, I'd bring them to the harbor to be adopted abroad. That guy, Pierre, he was running the entire show. Look, I don't know, okay? I've never ever met him in person.
And when did he send his final letter to you?
Just last night. He said that the Marechaussee Phantom is now after him, so he's planning to go into hiding for some time. He didn't mention where he's thinking about going, though.
It's been a few days since Pierre's last appearance. I'd wager that he sent that letter after he found his hiding spot.
I burned them. It was on his orders. I had to burn every letter after reading them.
Sure sounds like you're trying to use the lack of witnesses or evidence to pin the blame on Pierre.
No, I swear, this time I'm only telling you the truth.
Well, we can check the truth of your statements at the Opera House. I hope you know what'll be coming for you if I were to find any discrepancy between the evidence and the testimony you just gave.
I know. I swear I was just telling the truth.
My thanks to you both.
Bonnie helped, too.
That's true. And it looks like she's grown quite fond of you two as well. Then I'll leave you be.
That's on my mind, yeah.
Now behave and fall.
That hurt.
Hey.
Is there something else you need from me, traveler?
Huh?
I see.
Hey, what are you talking about? Look, even our...
Because he has been kept in the dark all along. And I assume it's the same with Pierre. That never quite added up for me. Why did Pierre feel compelled to return to his home with Bonnie and the pendant, and make them so easy to find for the Marechaussee Phantom? Both of these things are in stark contrast to his usual meticulous and vigilant behavior. He probably received the following instructions right before the Phantom came knocking on his door. Bring the cat. Unbeknownst to him, however, the third person who wrote that letter to him had long decided to sacrifice him and Bernard to save themselves.
What? You You can't be.
If you focus only on Bernard's testimony, it's easy to believe that.
Wait. But that doesn't make any sense.
Yep, which is why the third person made sure that Pierre would never be. Once they had instructed Pierre to expose himself, the third person wrote to Pierre again, suggesting that everything had been taken. Of course, Pierre's disappearance at such a sensitive time immediately made him a prime suspect. Knowing that Bonnie had last been seen with him, all the third person would have to do from that point on would be to lead the Phantom to investigate the Humane Society and get Bernard to confess the truth.
Wait, so you're saying that the letter I received yesterday, the one that...
Is that what happened?
Chevra said that assumptions can be detrimental to solving a case. Someone among us, however, has been feeding us all kinds of preconceived notions ever since our first meeting. They suggested that Pierre's disappearance was an attempt to escape the judgment of the law. But if the disappearance is truly just a cover-up for a murder, then couldn't the true sign have been an illegitimate daughter, rather than an illegitimate son?
Huh?
Haven't you taken this joke a bit too far? You're right. I did let a lot of assumptions get to my head when I first started to talk to you about the case.
You deliberately fed us lies. But even you could not control every last detail of your plan. Getting the Marechaussee Phantom to notice Pierre was only the first part of your plan, and you couldn't predict what they might possibly find, if given enough time. This, of course, was the main weakness of your... As someone accustomed to acting from behind the scenes, you didn't want to take the risk of personally proposing a raid on the Humane Society. So, you thought about pulling a few more strings. Once the Phantom expanded their search, it would only be a matter of time before they found Pierre's base. If a cat last seen with the suspect turned up dead at the imitation synth base, it wouldn't be long until the Phantom would figure out exactly how she had been mistreated and turn their eyes towards the one organization that has been sending. It was probably during your ambush of Pierre. You didn't even have the time to check if she had already been stuffed full of imitation synth. Still, you soon found another opportunity. Before long, Bonnie had made her way back into the city, and even popped up on the steam. Like Bernard, you desperately wanted to confirm the contents of her stomach, so you hurried to find us. Unlike Bernard, however, you were hoping that Pierre did have the time to make her swallow a load of imitation synth. While investigating the suspect's cat, we unexpectedly discovered that the suspect has been smuggling imitation synth using living animals as intermediaries. Bonnie had managed to escape before Pierre was able to stuff her full of imitation synth. That part of your plan could no longer be carried out. You manipulated the Traveler and I to help you identify Bernard as a key suspect. You used the Lefebvre name as bait to get us to join your investigation. With 2 extra bodies around, the Special Patrol is sure to soon take note of the strange event of Bernard somehow having a reason to look for Pierre's cat.
So, what you're saying is, I went to all that trouble just for the chance that you might put forth the suggestion that would lead you down the wrong path.
Of course, you did far more than that. Just now at Lumidu's Harbor, were you not the person who highlighted the suspicious activities of the Society?
Ugh.
You even highlighted the Society's activities during your compilation of the logs, so they'd be immediately visible to anyone examining the record. Moreover, the logs contained no records of the Port Authority's activities. In other words, your activities.
And what are you trying to suggest with that?
I am insinuating that you had plenty of opportunities to transfer the raw material. And that's how neither the trafficker nor the manufacturer knew there was a third person who supplied the raw materials. Pierre manufactured imitation synth using the raw materials you provided, stuffed the animals, and placed the animals back into the barrel. Having received the green light from you as Pierre, Bernard then retrieved his animal.
I can't believe it. I never put 2 and 2 together.
You've sure got an
So what do you think she's going to say next?
But do you have any evidence?
It appears that it's quite easy to predict what you'll think or say. Then if we apply that to this case, we can also think of a few places to look for incriminating evidence. You know very well that this case will not end until Pierre is found. So you will have him commit suicide out of fear and shame to end the investigation for good. That way, you can also pin the blame for the overseas smuggling activities, the theft of the harbor's confiscated raw materials, and even the Lefebvre name on him. But you still want it to appear as if he had sent that last letter to Bernard, so you have to make sure he cannot be found until after Bernard has confessed to the authority. To do that, you either will hide his body until you've found an appropriate time to set up a fake suicide scene, or you'll dump it someplace where it'll be hard to determine the exact time of death. Submerged in water, for instance. The location would ideally allow you to keep the body hidden for some time while also letting you keep an eye on it. There are only so many options to hide a person's time of death after all. As long as the Phantom investigates each of the possibilities in turn, especially since, as the prime suspect who will now be taken into custody, you will no longer have the time to move him, or—
How absurd. And on what grounds will you order my arrest? Don't think for a second that your spouts of nonsense will amount to any kind of real argument. After all—
Elodie Lefebvre! As the captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol, I hereby declare you as a suspect in the case.
That's right. We received a message from Lumiduce Harbor that you were going to investigate the Humane Society.
While at the harbor, we noticed something else extremely interesting. Apparently, you often used and if one were to match the times of your shifts to the activities of the Humane Society and—
Yes, I'm sure you have already thought of a dozen different ways to explain away the suspicious activities.
Don't worry. If it turns out that the guards are still unable to find any evidence after all this, Lynette and I will do everything in our power to clear your name.
Although judging by her reaction, I assume no follow-up from us will be needed.
The Lefebvres were infamous for using disguise and infiltration to achieve their goals.
Judging from the timeline, they likely arranged for you to enter the guards before the fall of the clan.
Not only that, but you actively participated in the interrogation, arrest, and judgment of the Lefebvres during their fall, thus clearing yourself of suspicion. You brutally and cruelly abandoned your allies as soon as they outlived their usefulness, just like a lizard cutting off its own tail in order to live.
So
They knocked out by a sudden strike.
They were worthless scum. All of them. I lost all my chances of a normal life just because I was born into their law. I had to live in constant fear of them while they were alive. And even once they were gone, I had to continue to bury my heritage and my name. Always worrying that their enemies would come knocking at the door. Do you know anything about what I've been through over all these years? My life as the last Lefebvre?
Altså hende og dommeren har været sådan irriteret. It feels like her anger may be part of some kind
I
of
don't, and neither do I care.
Are you for real? Aren't you a Lefebvre victim too?
Elodie, you're the only one still living under the shadow of a name.
That's enough. Keep your hands where I can see them and do not resist arrest. If you have more to say, save it for the interrogation room.
What a joke. What a joke! Hey! Don't come any closer!
What's that?
It's a bit odd. Taking on appears to be very cool and is made from paper.
Know what this is? Whether they're cats, dogs, or just unlucky human employees. Surely you bunch of goody two-shoes won't let that happen, right?
Just try to convince. Damn it. Oh, never mind, we got plus. Nice.
Do you know what would happen to you if you were to run away now? The entire Special Patrol would be out hunting for you day and night, to the ends of the world. Once word of that gets out, all the factions in Fontaine would be after you. But if you throw away the device now, would you rather go back with me now and wait for a trial? Or wait for your enemies to find you and subject you to the same interrogation techniques that your relatives were once infamous for?
No. What?
That just took it.
Phew.
Hey, bunny.
So I was right after all. This is it. Looks like it's just a toy.
Guess that's probably why she suddenly flipped and knocked out Bernard. He probably knew that there were no explosives at the society.
Well, given that she never even showed her face to Bernard and Pierre, I had my doubts that she'd have gone to the society in person to...
Thank you for your help, everyone. I'll take them back for thorough questioning, and find someone better to take over the Humane Society.
If statements are all you need, can Linny provide them on my behalf? I still need to go back and explain some things to the crew. I also had an appointment with the Traveler before we got interrupted. Ah, so you do remember. Yes, I invited you to come over to our place. Once I'm done talking with the troupe, I'll make a nice cup of tea and bring Bonnie to wait for you outside of my door.
Yeah. I mean, there's great storytelling. I mean, it's the same with everything else they make. Good storytelling, just a little bit too much unnecessary.
Black tea and a cute kitty. Truly the best combo for standby mode. Want some? I hope you'll like it. Not at all. Information is indeed very important, but if you were to try to collect every piece of information you come across, your efficiency would actually decrease. Plus, if you just think about it, what sounds more fun? Writing a statement or enjoying a tea? Great answer. That'd be my pick too. Had we not run into that case, we could have spent the entire day like this. But now I'm running. You're right. I can sense it. I'm recharging very quickly at the moment. Something about her rubbed me the wrong way since the very beginning. But to be more precise, it was probably around the time when I saw Bonnie try to get away from her. Elodie tried to get close, but Bonnie deliberately dodged her. Maybe Bonnie had tried to evade her before at Pierre's base. Not everyone who likes cats is a good person. Humans tend to overthink things, but cats rely on their instincts. She took a liking to you the moment you met.
Okay, oh. Everything is gone now. So what does this mean for this? Okay, so let's... a lot more! God damn! Hangout events are tough. Okay. Holy macaroni. Yeah, hangout events is it's gonna be a chore to get through, I think. Not that I don't like learning about the current stuff, but it's just so much unnecessary extra speech, which is kinda unfortunate, I feel like. Because for me, it's not that I don't wanna learn about it, it's just get a little bit too much of things that doesn't really matter.
Take it easy.
They explain everything. So fucking much. I know they're making sure that even children can understand it, but most people that play this game are probably not kids. At least I would argue.
Take it easy.
Why is it that Fontaine is just the craziest region out of them all? The most fucking insane and saddest region. I mean, Jesus. How is it possible?
Gotcha.
That I'm never gonna be able to understand. How is that fucking possible?
Take it easy.
I'll probably have more than enough for Karina to get her to max now. But let's just collect a few more. You never go wrong with a little bit extra.
Take it easy.
Hello.
Take it easy.
Almost missed one. Can I have that? I really like willow trees. They're so fucking beautiful.
Take it easy.
What? Did I already get to that? Goddamn. You need those and you need that, which is annoying. I really need to use you as well. Just a normal attack. Turns quickly shoulders and muscular fires and opponents dealing for short duration after serious fire shots. The active carries on the field, the amount healed is based on the max HP. As emphasize. Probably need to figure out how to use yours. Get some more rainbow roses. Need to grind these tomorrow.
Take it easy.
that's one thing I'm gonna do tomorrow. Is
Take it
definitely
easy.
gonna grind that, since I need them 2 characters.
Busted.
Hey! Dissipate!
Here you are.
Stand with me!
Nice.
Take it easy.
Another test subject.
Everyone hold hands! Dissipate!
I mean, might as well try and get some missing meshing gears. Not that bad of an idea. I know I can just use neither, but it doesn't really matter. Walking up there doesn't really take that much time. It ain't worth. Yeah, I think I'm gonna hold it here. Also need to get ready for D&D. So, thank you Kim, Nigel, Fabled, everybody else who stopped by. I appreciate it. Catch you tomorrow on the new patch. Have a good one. See you around.